The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, do we go into the breach, dear friends? 2507.5, which is up 3.5 points on the S&P cash. Volume, normally, if it's a good day, we're talking about 2.1 to 2.4 billion shares as we come in to this hour. We're doing about 1.86 billion shares, a little bit better than yesterday. But I'm seeing a lot of stocks that look like they're kind of rolling. So we'll talk about that today. But other than that, we're just waiting for the FOMC meeting tomorrow at 2. And my guess is everybody knows that there's not going to be any change in interest rates. But what are they going to do? They're going to turn up their nose when the Fed starts talking about their plans to reduce the balance sheet. And I think that's kind of going to put the market on the sell side of the week. We also have EIA numbers tomorrow at 10:30 for oil. A few earnings. We'll talk about those after the bell tonight and later this week. But going to be kind of a quiet week other than that 2 o'clock announcement. We have a 2:30 press conference with Janet Yellen. Normally, that is not done till about 3:15 to 3:30. So look for some volatility coming into right after the FOMC meeting. But my guess is that we're probably going to be lower after that meeting on the basis of them talking about that. And we're going to go right into another taper tantrum. At least that's what I suspect. Anyway, up 3.5 points, no juice. A lot of stocks kind of rolling over, especially some of the small caps. We'll talk about that. In the meantime, we always like to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And, of course, we always like to start the show off with a little bit of history.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
In 1995, the Washington Post on this day publishes a 35,000-word manifesto written by the Unabomber, who since the late 70s had eluded authorities by carrying out a series of bombs across the United States that killed 3 people and injured another 23. After reading the manifesto, David Kaczynski realized the writing style was similar to that of his brother, Theodore Kaczynski, and notified his FBI on April 3rd, 1996. Ted Kaczynski was arrested for his isolated cabin, which is quite a sight to see if you've seen the pictures of it, in Lincoln, Montana, where investigators found evidence linking him to the Unabomber crimes, i.e. the typewriter that he wrote his manifesto on. So kind of interesting. And, of course, while a lot of people didn't think about it, this had major implications later on in the 2001 terror attacks. Because of this single gentleman, the U.S. government started putting cameras and holding cameras in post offices and actually into some post boxes, eventually limiting the size of what you could send through the postal service. And it had a lot of ramifications for us in the Postal Service going forward. But they had kept 5 or 6 years of everybody dropping anything into a mailbox, and had kept it. And kind of the beginning of the Big Brother state. Of course, it's gone huge now. And with many people going on fascist book. Yeah, I think I pronounce it fascist book, and taking their entire world and putting it out in front for all to see. I don't know. I still have this kind of thing. Maybe it's a Midwest upbringing that just makes me think it's a bit or wholly narcissistic, he said. Always a little weird. Anyway, 2506 and change, up 3 points. Not a lot of juice coming. Waiting for that. Going to have a little action on earnings tonight. We'll talk about those stocks. Is there anything else? I think that's it. Not a lot of news. President was out talking, as a lot of people usually don't like a strong America, and we're hearing that feedback today on some of the cable stations, which means that it was a good speech. That's the way I always look at it. If it irritates some, then it's probably good. We had a little, we'll go to Tesla first. Tesla tested its previous high of 12.7 million shares going back to June 23rd. It did that, a little less than 13 million shares came into it yesterday. It was 17 million shares and reversed out here today. Actually, even reversed yesterday, which is a fairly bearish sign. To AutoZone, AZO. Now, this one, man, is this the people? It's been a while since I've seen a stock have sellers just come in hour after hour pushing something up. Actually opened a little higher. A lot of their discussion in their earnings call was buried until after the market opened, and then we heard that their forecasts are not that great. Again, I think I talked about this maybe even 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about this July 20th low, 491.13. I think we had a caller call in and ask about it. Now, it did go up, and you probably made a good trade out of it if you got out in time. But for me, this thing always had to come back down to that 491 area and retest that low. When you come down that low, you never get a instant V bottom that doesn't get, I won't say never, but you seldom get a bottom that is not retested. This thing actually had higher volume at 496 back on August 15th and higher volume on August 18th. So this thing never really saw the kind of volume and pullback you'd like to see. Energy wasn't all that bad off the August 18th low up to the high of this morning, but a fairly decent dark cloud cover on a great deal of trades back about 7 or 8 days. And I'm starting to see a little bit of that. As a follow-up, yesterday I was talking about a three-gap play. Again, if you are interested in understanding the three-gap play, I have a white paper. All you have to do is email me at path@tfnn.com. If you do so, I will gladly email you the link at TFNN to that paper. But FSLR, I think we're getting ready to come back. Let's go back here a little bit longer. Well, we'll kind of get back to this after the break. But this thing basically got its three-gap play finish on the 15th, rolled yesterday, continuing down. We'll talk about the implications of this shortly.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And what do we have going on? A couple of questions out here. Answered one in the den. Have I discussed the Equifax breach? What should we do to protect our information? Well, there's absolutely nothing you can do to protect your information at Equifax. It is their job to protect your information. I don't know what you can do other than I think you can actually write and say that they can't electronically get it, that someone has to write in and you have to mail the information. That's kind of vaguely what I remember. But again, not a whole lot you can do. When you get a credit card, you sign away all your rights, basically, so that they can sell that to Equifax from the various banks. So that's it. I did see a little thing here earlier that they raided the houses of a few of those Equifax folks on the and are doing a criminal investigation on them selling their shares right before it happened. You never know. It's maybe they all decided to sell at the same time. You never know. But my guess is that whether they decided to or not, the government's going to look good at coming after them right now. It's the safe play, but it doesn't really smell. It passed the smell test a great deal on that. Back to First Solar. Wanted to talk about this three-gap play. The first one is at $30. Second one is at 45, and the third one just completed between the close of the 14th and the open of the 15th. And now you're coming back and filling that. Now, generally, the idea is that all three of these big fat gaps get filled. That would suggest that First Solar comes back to about $30. I've never thought much about these solar companies. Because they miss one critical fact. And now that Tesla's had their battery packs out for a year and it's ended up to a great big fat zero, I will stand and say I was right. That a $40,000 battery pack, something that takes you 50 years to get your cash back, is not a real alternative to hooking up to the grid. Same thing, with their, if you're on some kind of tropical island maybe these roof shingles that take solar power are interesting, but very few and fringe uses for this technology that is 3 to 5 times more expensive than actually buying electric. Even on some of these places like islands, it's at least twice as expensive. It just doesn't make economic sense, but it doesn't matter. Everybody wants to say how great they are and virtue signal by buying very expensive solar panels that do not bring the cash back, and or the government has to pay for. So maybe I'm paying for your roof tiles or your solar system, but it's not any cheaper. You're just asking other people to pay for it. Anyway, $30, $45, $50. This is coming back, but that would suggest this is coming back to the $30 price range. Yeah, LifeLock is good, but it still doesn't mean that your data doesn't get out there. It just tells you that your data is out there. They may help you try to fix it. I think they have some stuff like that. But I think the question I'm talking about is, what can you do to keep your data safe? And if it's at something like Equifax and they let everybody in with no password, what can you do? They already have all your data. They don't need to hack anything else. They've got it. They got your social security number, where you work, your phone numbers. They got everything in the world. It is pretty good if you're just talking about maybe seeing one of your credit cards and the card numbers lifted. But for these big credit card reporting companies, I don't know if there's anything you can do other than bin and I don't. I'm really wondering if we're going to see a lot of these personal defense lawyers start suing Equifax fairly soon, and maybe find some legal way around that, and the fact that they didn't do their. The only way they're going to get them legally is that they didn't do their due diligence by leaving passwords open with default passwords, and that may be enough. But again, lawyers are probably going to get 3/4 of the money, and you'll get a check in the mail for maybe $100 or something. Again, not a great not a great solution. Anyway, we're going to talk about. Did we talk about Amazon or? I think we did. Did we already? AutoZone, AZO. Yeah, I showed that already. What else did I have on my list of stuff? Take a quick look at Intel. And see how she's doing. Yeah, you're going to have to move off the grid like Kaczynski and write your manifesto. I guess that's probably, I need to put that on my bucket list. Write a manifesto. But you never know. Okay, Intel now right up against previous highs in the 35 and 40 million share range. Pierced it yesterday with 19.4 million shares, 14 million shares today with a little doji out here. Certainly looks to me, when we look at the SMHs and the SOXs and all that, that we're kind of close to probably making some kind of high. We have a little hanging man right here. The only reason I would say that we're looking at a high is going right back into the Apple supply chain, which hasn't looked good, and Apple itself. Not that Intel isn't a big company. It's helping, but there's just so many more of these. Apple, of course, 14% of the NASDAQ. It's a huge weight in all of these things. This thing's just kind of gone sideways, but I did kind of see a rejection. Let me take a look at what I was pulling up here. Where is that at? Okay. We got why can't I find it? Oh, there it is. SWKS. But Avago is more, the way Avago is trading is much more interesting to me. Skyworks Solutions did roll over yesterday. You're up on almost no volume today so far, about 610,000 shares when you were down on 2.3 million shares yesterday. And then we get to looking at AVGO. We ready? There we go. This 252 level, as soon as they get up there, there's a huge, I was watching the ticker, there's some huge orders coming in right at that 252 level. So there's a fairly large order coming in on the sell side for Avago at that 252 level. Every time it gets up there, you see the big orders fly. And again, up, actually down a little bit, yesterday's closing price. But again, not much juice out. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Question in the den, which you can, of course, always email me at path@tfnn.com, and I will try to answer your questions. Okay. Okay. Hang on a second. Okay. What do we have here? Okay. 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 Question about what's going on with the lithium miners. And a few days ago, apparently this was already being front run because some people knew. But I think it was over the weekend, maybe Monday. They announced, and they, by the way, the Chilean government, that they were going to allow about a 40% increase in the amount of lithium that the miners could take out per year. So, of course, if you're selling all you can already, adding another 40% to what you mine each year is nothing but pure profit. Well, probably not pure profit, but again, additional profit since you can sell all that much more lithium. And that's why all the lithium companies are going bonkers. They're just going to be allowed to mine a great deal more of it than they were before. So not a whole lot of change out there. What else? We looked at that. Got a question to look at Semantic. SYMC, yeah. SYMC. And, of course, with all the Kasparov stuff, Kasperi? I don't know. Issue. Semantic, of course, big in security. Had kind of a nice run over the last, after testing its lows. I dislike the fact this thing is it's August 11th low. Actually, and back into this low had some fairly strong volume. So you could see the $27 level retested. Not exactly sure what would happen fundamentally to make that, but that is hanging out there. I dislike the way this thing's run up. My guess is that their business is not going to be that much better, but a lot of people pushing the whole Kasperi. It's Russian. Dos Svadonya. I remember a lot of Pasiba. I remember a few words in Russian, but that wasn't Kasperi. Anyway. It's just kind of very interesting to see the government. I think even yesterday, the House voted to not use its security software anymore in the U.S. House of Representatives, like we were using it already. Kind of interesting to think that we would do that. I don't even know if they had it on their machine. Maybe it was symbolic. But again, you kind of up here at these highs, volume's about half of what it is. My guess is this thing's in a trading range somewhere between 31 and this 34 level. They're just a lot of people just know that there's better options, I think, than Semantic out there for security. And I think maybe that's why you're seeing some of these other ones start picking up. Saw a lot of articles over the weekend in the last week or maybe 10 days, and that is that FireEye's gotten a little bit better about communicating its wins. I had a real problem with this company in that they couldn't really talk about, it's kind of like the CIA. When they do something great, they really can't talk about it without giving up the advantage. And the exact same thing with CyberEye, Cyber or whatever, CYBR. These companies aren't traditionally the way that they're laid out. This thing is done fairly well off this 1374 low as it came back, touched that gap on significantly light volume. It's come up. Now you've got this overhead, which is this gap that's not much higher than that, going back to the July 28th high. So this one's kind of like Intel. Yeah, I think you got most of the runs you're going to get out of this one for a while. It's probably going to come back here and consolidate to the $15 level. And my guess is it will come back down to this $15 level on very light volume, and that may be the buy. Or at least I'm hoping that would be the buy. CYBR. These companies I like better than Semantic and the other traditional ones like PAWN. We'll look at that one too. But the reason I like them, and FireEye especially, is just the product they have. I've explained this many times, and that is there's the moat that keeps people from crawling the walls of your castle. But what happens when they actually get inside your castle? Do you have any more guards? And for the most part, the answer is no. And FireEye, CyberArk, these companies really are better at figuring out when someone's gotten through your initial defenses, that is it. I actually built a digital disc recorder for the security business, and I went and took some of the security classes and the way that you're supposed to have security. The first thing they teach you is that security is not a single wall, and then that's it. It's layer after layer after layer if you truly want to be secure. And why you do need some of this stuff that routers and firewall boxes from Cisco provide, somebody gets the password, they're getting in. And at that point, you need to start looking at it. But both these companies do some kind of I hate to use the word artificial intelligence, machine learning about the way that people use their systems, and they can identify when people are doing things that are untoward. The biggest problem was Target 2 years, was it 2 Christmases ago? I think it was 2 Christmases ago when FireEye figured out actually what had happened. They told the CEO. He ignored it because he didn't want anything going on that would hurt sales at Christmas. And then it came out later and cost him his job anyway. We continue to see that as the modus operandi for the CEOs in America. And it just becomes problematic. But as more and more people lose their heads, like the episode we've seen in the last week, they're going to start figuring out that it is. I always kind of relate this back to the product that I designed. It's actually called the Digital Detective. I thought it was a pretty snappy name. Was that Intel and the insurance companies would no longer give insurance to these 7-Elevens and gas and goes and stuff. You had to have some kind of security system in it, including a VCR that worked. They actually changed the wording so that if the VCR wasn't working, you were not covered in case of a theft or a robbery. And that made all those guys actually start using VCRs, make sure they had good tapes in them, and make sure that the stuff was working. And I think it's kind of what we're going to have to see. A few more heads lost by CEOs and other people selling their shares right before the bad news hits the proverbial fan.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
If you're looking to open your portfolio to worlds of opportunity, consider the new market-safe emerging currency CD from Everbank. This 3-year U.S. dollar-denominated CD gives you exposure to 5 equally weighted currencies from Brazil, China, India, Indonesia, and Turkey at a time when experts see great potential for global growth. Even better, it features a 7.0 leverage factor, which means you could earn a potential market upside payment of 7 times the CD's performance at maturity with no cap if the currencies increase in value over the CD's term. And should the opposite occur, your principal is 100% protected. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There is no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on this index CD. Don't miss out. The September 28th funding deadline will be here before you know it. So call 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're back. Anyway, we're talking security because we got Larry from Minnesota asking about Symantec. And it just kind of an also-ran. Maybe that's the reason I'm not too excited about Symantec. And as I said, kind of close to the highs out here. CyberArk, when we look at this one, actually, let's go back a little farther just to make sure I didn't make a mistake. This thing, you can kind of pretty much say that it has kind of completed a 3-gap play. I would like to see this thing kind of try to bounce around and retest the $39 range. But again, it's probably the second one. FireEye I like the best. We're going to look at PAN, P-A-W-N, P-A-N-W. That's it, P-A-N-W, Palo Alto. Now, this is the company that Wall Street loves. And they loved it much higher. They loved it much lower. They just love it, love it, love it because it's extremely easy to explain, and people buy it now, even though it probably doesn't help that much. It's one of those companies where a lot of people are involved in this stuff. They've got a good name and it's a good product. But again, a lot of people can build you a wall. It's something that can actually give you true security behind that wall. And for the most part, that's the FireEye, Cyber guys stuff. Kaspersky. Somebody actually, not Barry, Kaspersky. Man, that's good. Sometimes I have to just see this thing. Question about which one I think is the best for my own home computer. And generally, I use Avast, A-V-A-S-T. And the problem is that I've had to switch to something else. Chipotle. Okay, Chipotle. And I don't see an L-A-Y at the end of Chipotle either. Everybody's now wanting to stump the band with some word I can't pronounce. Tesla. Or no, Palo Alto. You could almost say that this thing's a gap, but I think this one's like Cyber. I think you have a good opportunity to wait for a fairly decent pullback before buying this one. In fact, I would probably recommend the other two over this one. I'd really love to see this thing come down and fill this gap at about 120. But again, I don't think this is going to be the huge winner over time that those other two could be. It's just going to take years before that probably works its way through the system and people pay up for that. So you can always email me at path@tfnn.com. I'll be glad to do it. Okay, normally I use Avast. It just wouldn't work on my system. Now maybe they fixed it, so I had to switch to something else that is unnamed. I don't want a lot of people figuring out what I've got. If it was just between me and you, I'd say. But normally I would say Avast is what you want to use. Let's see. Got a couple more emails. What else do we want to look at here? Costco. To see what this one's doing. Again, it's going to be a tough day to figure out a lot of stuff going on. A little bun. Let's talk about after the bell tonight. ADBE, Mr. Adobe. No sign of this thing giving up at all. This thing has continued up. Up on light volume. There's no signals up here saying good or bad. The one thing I would worry about on Adobe is the analysts keep moving the earnings up, and I wonder whether this thing is going to whiff, as some of these other companies have over the last few weeks and days, where they just can't meet the continued acceleration that the analysts are putting on them. If the analysts weren't jacking the earnings up on these guys, I would probably feel okay. If they do, but I think they are, this thing's going sideways. If they can't make the push from the analysts on this one, it could pull back. I don't think this one's that bad. But about 145 is where this thing would probably trade if it can't make the enhanced version of earnings that I think analysts are heaping on this one. So keep an eye on that. Okay. Question to talk about Sebastian Thrun, who I took his course for machine learning from Uda City. Didn't find it that interesting. Actually, the free one on with Jeff Hinton is the absolute best one to get a understanding of how all the stuff works. And since he's the guy that pretty much did it all, I like it. But you can find his stuff on that. Okay, Andy Heck, 400th show today. I only wonder how many shows I've done. I've never kept track. So we've got 2011, it's 2017, average of 200 shows a year. So what is that? I got to be up at 1,200. I'm going to have to tell Andy what for. And then, of course, I'll be humbled by Tom's 15 years of shows every day. Question in the den, do I see the SPX? As I said yesterday, the risk reward for being short here for many stocks is incredibly good for being short right now. Odds are still around 50-50 that we go 20 points higher by the end of the week or 80 points lower. So very asymmetric risk reward. But everything I see says that we're the most stretched that we've been in over 1,000 days of trading. So this is not kind of where we're tinily stretched. This is where we have to see earnings blow it out of the park to keep up with the prices and earnings that we currently have. We're starting to see a few of those, like we said, after the bell Adobe tonight. But for me, the risk reward is huge. Got a lot of stocks that are up on nothing. We're just we're not even 2.1 billion shares now as we're getting close. I was expecting kind of light volume, but I think you probably would have liked to see the market pull back on light volume yesterday and today and into tomorrow, not go up with no volume and hold up here and see a lot of small stocks pulling back and rolling over. So what do we have? Andy Heck's 400 show, June technical operators, ETN products. Okay, a lot of good stuff there for my friend Andy Heck. I don't think he's in the den yet, is he? Oh, there he is. He's in the den. He may be listening. I'll have to figure out how many shows I've done. Okay, what else do we have out here? Some of these stocks up at highs. Wanted to see how they've been doing. Wanted to see how Xilinx did. Do not like the fact that this thing is breaking above resistance, which is mostly around the $68 level, June 9th, June 12th. A lot of little highs back in there at high 67s, mid to lower 68s. Yesterday, we went through that with 3 million shares. We're looking for something like in the neighborhood of 5 or 6 million shares. So 3 million shares, not that much. Today, 1.4 million shares. Again, energy off this August 21st low is okay, but it's not ecstatic. So handful of stocks, mostly the Apple side of the semiconductors are really going to mean that unless you're playing individual stocks, I suspect that you've got some pain in the SMHs coming in fairly soon. We'll be back after this.
Tom O'Brien has just announced that he'll be coming to Boston September 30th for a free workshop, The Art of Timing the Trade. Join Tom O'Brien Saturday morning, September 30th at the Boston Marriott in Burlington, Massachusetts, as he breaks down his trading methodology and provides you with the tools to become a more successful and profitable trader. Everyone that attends in person will receive a free signed copy of Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System. Daryl Martin from Apex Investing Institute will also be presenting for 90 minutes at this free event.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. Join me in Boston on September 30th as I return to my hometown for a workshop about the art of timing the trade. I look forward to seeing all the tigers and tigresses for this special free event.
All action starts early at 7:30 a.m. with a continental breakfast and wraps up at about 1 p.m. Topics that Tom will be covering during his presentation include quality volume, cause and effect, ABC structures, swing points, and much, much more. For all the information on this free Boston event taking place Saturday, September 30th, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. Come join me next hour as we bisect and dissect these markets. Right here on TFNN. Wow!
And what do we have? Did I get all the emails? I think I did. I think we looked at all the stocks, answered as many questions I could as in the den. And, of course, we were talking about AutoZone before. I actually had this in the newsletter this morning as one I was looking at, which is O'Reilly. This thing gapped down on the, July 5th with almost 13 million shares, came in, tested that gap area at 211 on August 3rd with 3 million shares. Got into it yesterday with 1.4 million shares. Today with 2 million, or the day before that with 2 million shares. So you had kind of come up there and already tested all these. But again, most of these auto parts companies have not gone back and retested their high volume lows. In the case of O'Reilly, you really wanted some kind of low back into this huge day of the July 5th down, and you never really got it. I think you're going to get it now, and this probably the next time out here is when I think that you're going to get a longer term low. Of course, depends on what your trading range is, but that's kind of it. We'll take a quick look at COP. This has come back up to the June 19th high at 46 72. ConocoPhillips, that was 6 million shares, excuse me. Yesterday we had 7 million shares. Today, about 4.3. There's it's kind of a messy consolidation, but you're basically going into these candles back here that had 12 and 13 million shares on the way down, going back to, what's that one, the 25th of May. So you're kind of coming back up there. You never really got the kind of juice that I think you'd like to see. You had kind of one good day, and that was the 15th. But you know what? I think we're probably going to start seeing a lot of this energy issue come back here and retest. You did get a good test of the low with lighter volume down there on August 21st, but that was about it. Well, hang on for Tom O'Brien and then Andy Heck's 400 show. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We will see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.